Hello, this is Marie Diamond, and welcome to the masterclass Visionaries Become Millionaires. Perhaps some of you know me. I am one of the master teachers in the hit movie and bestseller The Secret. I'm a Feng Shui master. Some of you have done some of my work online. Perhaps you're totally new to the information I'm sharing. Anyhow, welcome. It was really interesting. One conversation with one of my coordinators, and that she was saying, "What do you want to teach about?" And I said, "You know what? Visionaries become millionaires." And she's like, "Oh my God, that is such a very interesting concept." And I said, "Yes, it really is." And I had no idea myself, right, that I had a vision very early on in my life. I'm originally from Belgium, and I had a vision. Literally, I knew what I was going to do when I was 15. And the vision was I had a near-death experience, actually, and I had gone to the other side. And I know this is quite an interesting story. But when I was there, I really got the message that I was here to enlighten more than 500 million people. So when I woke up out of my coma, this is what the sentence was. You are here to enlighten more than 500 million people. Now, everybody gets once in a while like an idea, like a vision, like this is what I want to do. This is what I want to create the world, right? So what do you want to create? I do believe it's part of our human nature to be able to have visions. I do believe animals and plants, perhaps they do have visions, but they don't have a vision beyond experience. As human beings, that's the uniqueness of us as human beings. We have a mind, and our mind can go and create something really amazing. And so I have worked in the last 25 years with a lot of top celebrity clients, a lot of billionaires, multimillionaires. And I always had this conversation with them, like, what's your vision, right? And even Rhonda Byrne, that created The Secret and really launched this whole movement called the Law of Attraction, she had this vision. She was like sitting with me on the beach, and I was asking her, I said, what's your vision? And she said, my vision, she said, is to bring joy to billions. I was like, wow, that's an amazing. So a vision is almost like a statement. Yeah. It's not like such a big deal. Could be, somebody saying, well, I want a computer in every home, right? Or I want everybody to get all the things they want and all the things they want to buy delivered at their home, right? Or I want people to have a car. Every family in America has their own personal car. I mean, these are some of the visions that people had. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that was a vision that I had. And it was called enlightenment, but I had no idea what that meant. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm here to make a difference. Yeah. And one of the things, and that's my story, is that I started really asking every day and sharing that message. Like, I am here to enlighten more than 500 million people. So I was already thinking in millions. Yeah, people that have visions, really like world-changing visions, they never think in 2 people. They never think in 10 people. They always think in millions. Yeah. And as you're thinking in millions, without even thinking in millions of money, reaching out to millions creates an openness for the vision that you have. Yeah. So I was really saying that every day. I am here to enlighten more than 500 million people. And then I added something to it that changed my life. I would say every day, show me how. Tell me what I need to do. What's the next step, right? And so it's one of the things that people are afraid sometimes of having a vision, because they're thinking, oh my God, I have to manifest this vision, right? From the moment I have this vision, right away I have to manifest this. No, visions take years. Sometimes it takes till, the end of your life. to have this vision manifest. I was just reading a story about, I don't know if you've ever seen the cartoon Asterix and Obelix, one of my favorite cartoons when I grew up. The cartoonist, he wanted to find a cartoon that would make millions laugh. He and his friend, the writer, and he, the cartoonist, the designer, came up with the idea, we need to find something that makes, creates joy for millions, literally. So, they just tried, and then they found Asterix and Obelix, and now worldwide, in so many countries, so many languages, people have been reading about Asterix and Obelix. Perhaps some of you don't even know that, but it's very, very famous. So the whole point is you first have a vision, an idea, like this is my contribution. Yeah, I see always a vision as a contribution to humanity. What is your contribution? And you can say, well, I want to, thinking about this one lady, and she said, like, I want to make the best cookies, best chocolate chip cookies, right? And I want everyone to enjoy them. Everyone, that's thinking in millions, right? Everyone is not just your family. Yeah. She would say that all the time. And now she's one of the largest brands in chocolate chip cookies in America. Yeah. So when you have a vision, you make a statement. And a vision always helps humanity. It always helps people to improve their life. Yeah. It has to be a positive vision. Yeah. And so once you have that positive vision, then you really have to make it your own. And I know when I started saying that, when people would say, like, what are you going to do, Marie? I said, I'm here to enlighten more than 500 million people. I mean, most people were like, ding, ding, going like, she is super crazy, right? And so everything I was doing, every decision I made was always checking in with myself. Is this decision, is this step connected with a vision? Will that help my vision forward? And so I would always ask every day, show me how. Is there anything I can do, any person, any book I can read, any course I can take, any language I need to learn to get to that point? Yeah. And I remember when I was 15, I was like, if I want to reach millions of people, I have to learn English, right? So I put all my energy on knowing how to write and read and speak English as best as I could. What was not a normal language at that time for my country. Once I understood there were computers, at 19, I started studying programming on computers. Even that everybody said around me, computers, there will be just like, nobody will ever do that, right? Because I was always looking for, what is their step, right? Is there anyone that I need to read? Is there anything I need to study? Is there anything I can do to help me move forward in that vision? And that's what I've seen with Visionaries. It is something that lives in their heart. It lives in their mind. It's something that never leaves them. Yeah. It doesn't mean they don't go through difficult times, because part of manifesting your vision and to reach the millions of people and reaching the millions of income is literally you will go through a time of challenge, because the vision challenges you. Like it's not that you challenge your vision, the vision will challenge you. Will challenge you like, are you onto this? Are you moving forward, right? So sometimes there are times that you're like, perhaps I need to give up on that, right? Sometimes you will need to do like a jump, right? I remember when I was in San Francisco and I woke up that morning and it was like, I need to move in 3 weeks, like a voice in my head, very clear. And so I called my husband, we to move in 3 weeks to America, get packing. And he's like, okay. No, he always wanted to move to America, so that was a good thing. But it was like, sometimes that will challenge you. And then it's up to you to just say yes to the challenge, to the quantum leap. So anyone that I have seen that had a vision and reached millions, made millions because of that vision, is because that vision challenged them and they always said yes to it. Yeah. They never gave up on it. Yeah. I'm thinking about the colonel that created the KFC recipe. He was in his 60s. He had gone around the country to introduce people his special chicken recipe. Yeah. It's only when he was in his 60s that he literally got to somebody who said, yes, I'm going to take this on. We're going to introduce this to our customers. So visions do challenge you. And that's why a lot of people are afraid of having a vision. Yeah. But the thing is, when you have a vision, you know you will reach millions, because a vision can never be for 2 people, for 10 people, for 100 people, 1,000 people. It's impossible. A vision is always to contribute, to uplift, to empower humanity. A vision is never a negative aspect to that. This is what, the secret was. The secret was vision, right? With the book. Now, I do believe that The Secret became so big because not just the producer, the creator of the idea, the publisher, but also the teachers in the movie and in the book, The Secret, all had big visions to reach millions of people and to make millions. Because when you reach millions, you will make millions, because that's a natural flow that will happen. So how to get there? I just want to introduce, one of the things that I have learned, that there are, to the law of attraction, there are several aspects. And one of the aspects is, we call it your heavenly luck. Yeah. I do believe everyone that comes on this planet does have something to contribute. It's your dharma. Yeah, we never just come to experience challenges. We not just come all the time to have bad experiences. There's always something that your soul wants to develop a purpose. Yeah, improve yourself, to improve others around you. So sometimes, you first need to go through certain experiences, and then out of these negative experiences, an aha, a knowledge, a deeper information about yourself unfolds, and then people do something with that. Like that exactly happened with me, right? So I went through a really rough childhood, very abusive, very lonely. And when I was 15, I had this near-death experience. Now, I still went through some difficult time for the next 10 years. But out of that difficult time I had, and this aha moment that this could be my contribution to humanity, I started feeling that my soul was directing me. And I was opening up to it, because once you have that purpose, coming up with an idea is not enough. I know some of you are thinking, I don't know my purpose. Well, I always say to people, start asking about it. Saying to your soul, show me the purpose. What is my purpose? Ask the question. Now, I'm telling you, sometimes you don't even know what your purpose is, but everyone around you knows exactly what your purpose is. Yeah. Sometimes literally you have no idea, because it's so natural to yourself that you don't even see it. And people around you like, oh, this is what you're going to do. Right. So I remember once I asked my mother, what's my purpose in life? And she's like, oh, you will teach. And I'm like, I will teach? She said, oh, Marie, since you are a baby and since you start playing with dolls, you always put all your dolls out, you dress them up nicely, and you took the chalkboard and started giving them lessons, mathematics, about God, about, the languages. You always were teaching your dolls. That's all I saw. I was not playing soccer. I was not playing, other things that children would do. My dolls were my students. She said, you will become a teacher. And I'm like, oh, that is my purpose. She said, you will share information. You will share knowledge. You will share And she said, and you always at the end, when you were done with your purpose, with teaching your dolls, right? I had 40 dolls. And even, all the stuffed animals, they were all lined up to study with me. And I was always like so happy at the end. Yeah, like, oh my God. And I would come down and say to my mom, my students did really great today. Yeah. So this was my purpose, right? Now, I did not know what I was going to teach one day, right? But it had to be something about this. She said, I knew. So people around you probably know more than you know. I had no idea because it was so natural to me. Yeah. So you have a heavenly luck. You have a purpose. You have come with something, a talent. You have come with perhaps an idea. Each one of you, this is part of human race, is that we all come with sharing something. Yeah. So for you to find it and to ask for it, to create clarity. Sometimes people get it through journaling and start writing things down and starting writing ideas down. Because once you do that, you start seeing it more and more for yourself. So that's your heavenly luck. So that is responsible for 33% of your law of attraction. Now, in order to reach more that soul purpose, it's important for you to meditate, to prayer, to take time to go within yourself. And, sometimes we are given that time I was given that time by, literally being in the hospital, after my near-death experience for a couple of weeks. So I was given time. Yeah. Sometimes people are given time because they lose their job or they get sick or there's a crisis in the world, so that people start thinking like, what am I really doing here? There's always a time that you need to look within yourself for that. Then I do believe the law of attraction has a second part. And the second part is what we call the human luck, your human experience. Yeah. So when you have a vision, then that vision is something you need to nurture. Yeah. You need to nurture it with thoughts, with thinking positive about it, by contemplating it. So if you have a vision and you just say, oh, I throw it away, and I think negative about that purpose, and this will never happen, and I have to do other things, and everybody with a vision never makes it happen, and I can never become a millionaire, I can never reach millions. I mean, if I would have been thinking that way, I would not have been with you right now. It would have been impossible, right? So the whole point is you have to have a positive mindset towards that vision that you have. You have to nurture it and say, oh, this is so amazing. When an idea comes, never put the idea down. Always lift the idea up. Always say, wow, what an amazing vision that is. And you have to nurture that every day with a positive mindset. Yeah. You also have to be in gratitude towards the vision, towards the purpose that you have. Like, wow, this is my purpose in life. When people tell me their purpose, I'm always going to say, this is amazing. Yeah. I will be that inspirational part of that they are perhaps ignoring in themselves, right? Because most people, when they have an idea, when they have a vision, they literally are afraid to even say great things about it. Because if they say great things about it, what if it not happens, right? Then nobody will laugh with them. Yeah. So you have to be your greatest encourager of that vision, the greatest fan of your own vision. I mean, if I would tell people what I wanted to do, I remember I was 18 and I told my best friend, I remember on the corner of the street, I told her, I have to tell you something. This is my purpose in life. And I remember her looking at me and she said, Marie, there's are only two directions for you. And I said, what? She said, or you become a nun and, make a difference through being a nun in a monastery, or you go straight to psychiatry. And I was like, okay, right? I said, I'm sure, I said to her, there is a third direction. I don't have to be a nun. I don't have to end up in psychiatry. I'm sure I can get into a new direction. I don't know what it's called yet, but I will find out. And I did find out. Yeah. Because it still had to unfold. A vision, has always to unfold. Can you imagine that when Steve Jobs was thinking about what he wanted to do with an iPhone, or the ideas he had for mass communication, do you think he had an idea how it exactly would look like? Visions unfold if you have a really good mindset around your vision, when you feel in gratitude that you received that vision. I do believe when you receive that vision, you should be like, oh, this is so amazing. The universe, God gave me that vision, and I'm the one to nurture it. I'm the one to hold it. I'm the one to develop it. I'm the one to share it with the world. Yeah. I always understood that, and perhaps it's the way I received it, right? What was already a little bit, different than most people. I really felt it was like something so sacred that I needed to take care of it. Yeah. And that I was the mother of my vision, that I needed to take care of that baby. A vision is a baby. And you need to grow that with the right encouragement, with the right mindset. It's like if you have a baby, right? And you would, from the beginning, when you have this baby, say, oh, this is such an ugly baby. This baby will never grow. This baby will never be accepted. If you start thinking like this about your baby, oh my God, your baby will not do anything. If you don't give love to that baby, if you don't are grateful that this baby is there, that you have an amazing experience with having this baby, then that baby will never grow. This is how a vision has to be taken care of. And then there's also taking action. It's not just the thoughts, it's not just the feelings, it's also, what do you do? Do you take as much as you can action to make that baby grow, to make that vision grow? If you have a baby, you don't give it food every day, if you don't wash it, if you don't dress it, if you don't go walk with it, if you don't play with it, if you don't laugh with it, that baby will die because there's not a connection made through actions. So you need to take actions every day. And that is why it is so important to create a vision board. Yeah. So in The Secret, we'll talk about that. John Assaraf, one of the master teachers, and I was actually just calling him today. And the thing was that he created a vision board. Now, I made vision boards too. Yeah. I made a vision board on my wall. I created things, I put things on it. I didn't even know that word existed. Yeah. And I do remember when I came for the first time in America, I made a big vision board. And I put on my vision board a little Post-it note, a yellow Post-it note as big as this. And I wrote on it, I'm going to be in a movie seen by millions of people. And I stuck it to my vision board. Now, that's taking action. A vision board is taking action. And I'm going to talk a little bit about, how specific the vision board can be, right? And how I can help you with making a magical vision board for this year. So I put it on there, and the action was already taken. Making a vision board is perhaps for some of you the first action. Writing your goals, finding images, quotes that connect in with the vision that you have, and the steps. Goals are like steps towards making the vision happening. By writing that down, that's probably for some of you the first time you really take action. Yeah. And that's why a vision board is so important, because when you have a vision board and you put it up there and you put it somewhere in your home, and also the place, the location where you put the vision board is super, super important in the law of attraction. Let me get to that a little bit later. So when you literally are able to put your vision board up, I went to every day read my vision board. I would every day go to my vision board and look at it. And it's like, think about it's that baby again. Yeah. Sometimes you have no other way to take action to your vision than to look at your vision board. And to look at your vision board like, oh, this is a really good thing. And sometimes I put pictures up for people and I would just wave at them and say, hey, I'm going to talk to you very soon. And all these things start manifesting because I took action, just not just by my vision board, but I also start taking action every day. It could be studying something, talking to somebody about my vision. Most people are so afraid to even talk about their vision, right? It's like, I have this idea. And if you like not share that idea to people around you, or perhaps people that know people, and somebody will say, oh, I know the exact person that you need. Let's put you together, right? So this is the way things are working out, so that you literally take action every day. Writing in a journal about your vision, any idea that comes to you about your vision, write it down. That is an action step that you're making at that point. Yeah. So you have to almost every day, or at least a few times a week, you have to take an action step. You have to have a positive mindset about it. You have to feel great about it. And you have to take action, just like a vision would be a baby that is growing to become an amazing human being. And so that is what you need to nurture. You need to nurture your vision. But there's a third aspect, because the human aspect is also responsible for 1/3, 33% of manifesting your vision. Now, when I look at all the millionaires that have created their vision, they did follow up on their purpose. Yeah, they had an idea, and the wildest idea it was, they just start thinking positive about it. They started believing in it. They would start connecting with it, being grateful every step they took. They took action every time they could. But they also understood that where they are living, where they are working, where they are sleeping even, that their environment is as important for their manifesting of their vision. And that is what we call the environmental luck. And this is actually what, when I talked about The Secret, when people in The Secret, the organizer of The Secret, the publisher of The Secret, they were at a certain moment hitting a ceiling. I'm sure some of you have a big vision and you're feeling like you're hitting a ceiling. Well, it is because your home is also a 3-dimensional vision board. Your home, everything around you affects that. Yeah. So like right now behind me, this is actually my success direction. So I have there a globe because I'm global. I don't know if you can see it all. I have my books there. Yeah. So I have some other things that are very important for me. Normally I have my vision board there, but I kind of took it off because, to be honest, it's quite private. Yeah. There are some people on there that are private clients of mine, and it doesn't look so good as a back cover for me when I'm doing this masterclass. But I'm telling you, this is where, in my success direction, where my vision board is. So the whole thing is everything around me is actually sharing that vision. Yeah. And this is how your home, your office is a place of manifesting your vision. A lot of people think, well, I manifest my vision in the world, but the first place of manifesting your vision is where you live. Yeah. So if your home is telling a complete different story, if your office is telling a complete different vibration, then your vision cannot manifest. So that's one of the first things I start doing. And once I start adding that to my experience of manifesting my vision just started to unfold. And I remember when I was in America, the first time I really, really did this till details. And I put my vision board up, and I actually thought, well, I want to be in a movie. So I got myself a fake Oscar statue, put my name on it. and I put it in under my vision board. So within a month, I got my first Oscar-winning client. And I was like, wow. And then all these things started unfolding so that within a year, I was in an organization that ultimately led me to be in the movie called The Secret. And rest was history. So, but I made sure my environment was telling the story of my vision. So this is exactly the part, the missing link that most of you don't have. Most of you do not have a vision board. And if you have a vision board, it is kind of a general vision board. You took a paper and you kind of stick some pictures on it. It was not a very clear vision board. So the magical vision board that I always create and that you will be able to connect with in the Magical 2020 online course that we're doing with in the next weeks is that I'm going to teach you how to make a personal vision board that is based on your birthday. Yes, on your birthday. Nobody ever talks about that, right? So there are certain directions, there are certain colors, there are certain words, certain images that for you are stronger. And this is based on very ancient Feng Shui that the Chinese have been studying for 4,000 years. I understood all this. I became a Feng Shui master and I brought it together with the law of attraction. Then also where to place your vision board is so important. The colors that are on your vision board are also very important. And then once you have created your magical vision board, because really vision boards are so magical. I have created so much amazing things and met so much amazing people by putting it on my vision board. But if your vision board is in the right place, in the right way created, then it manifests constantly. And I've done this work for the last 15 years with my students, and I've seen amazing things happen. But there's a second part to it. We also need to make sure your home is also a vision board, that you have checked out your where to place your vision board to activate the success energy of your home, the money energy, your health, your relationships, both professional as personal and romantic, your inspirational energy based on your birthday. In your home, there are different things we need to activate. And for 2020, there's different colors, different images, different quotes, even different affirmations that you can practice to make that happen. So this is an alignment between your environment, the missing link that all of you need to really boost, yeah, because that is what the people in The Secret were using. They were paying me, amazing amounts of money to make sure that where they were hitting a ceiling or hitting a wall, and these are people like Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, John Gray, Rhonda Byrne, Marcy Shimoff. A lot of these people were telling me, Marie, we do all the right things with our mindset. We do all the right things with our feelings and our gratitude, and it still is not manifesting. The secret is not working because they were missing on that magical recipe. Yeah, it needs to align. Your heaven, your human, and your environment needs to align. And that is what we're sharing in the Magical 2020 program that you'll be invited to join. So this is why you really need a vision board to manifest faster and smarter, yeah, what you exactly need. And so I always love when people connect with me and say like, Marie, this is what I did with the vision board. And we do these vision board programs every year. And it's always a little bit different because there's different colors and different images that are very strong for you. And it's all based on your personal energy and the frequency of that year and the energy vibration of that year. And so 2020 has a different vibration than 2019. And that vision board becomes a very beautiful focus point for your attention. And think about this is like putting your vision of your life on it, right? And so as you put that out there, and it's not just a vision for your success and money. It's a vision for your health. It's a vision how your relationships are going to be. It's a vision how your inspiration, what you're studying, what you're learning on your journey, what you need to focus on. Because a vision is a big deal. It's a big thing. But there are always four pillars, success and money, health, relationship, and wisdom, that need to support your vision. It's like you're building a house, you're building a legacy for yourself and for the rest of your family. So I'm just looking into making sure that I will still give you all the information I promised. So this is how visionaries become millionaires, yeah, and multimillionaires, because their whole life is in that flow. And everyone that I have met that was a multimillionaire, was a billionaire, they all have some of these aspects already in place. And sometimes I came in to help them a little bit more with their vision board, a little bit more with their home. Yeah. Sometimes I help them more a little bit with changing their mindset or their gratitude level. So I work with a lot of top people, and I want to give the opportunity for all of you to have this information at a much different price in the Magical 2020 in-person program that we're doing on April 4th. And on April 4th, we're actually going to go deeper into that, and you'll be with me on a Zoom like this. We'll do 4 sessions. And so I can give you all the time the feedback. You will be part of a private Facebook group, so you'll be able to ask all the questions in the coming weeks and months to my team and to myself. So you will also get a special PDF file with how a vision board needs to look like. You will get a huge ebook of 50 pages that explains you, gives you all the images that are right for you. So it's a really wonderful program that you'll be able to receive the access to when you go into the Magical 2020. Now, I want to finalize with talking about how to open the channels of abundance. So I do believe that your home is a channel of abundance. Yeah, your energy is a channel of abundance, right? Your mindset is a channel of abundance, and your spirit is also a channel of abundance. So this are all channels. And some of you are like, well, my mindset is quite okay, but my heart is not so open for abundance. Perhaps you feel like, yeah, I'm spiritually totally in alignment with the universe, and I know the universe is abundance, but my mindset, I still need to kind of tweak that a little bit. Yeah. Some of you are like, but my home is not a channel of abundance. Now I'm telling you, the easiest way to create a channel of abundance and to work on that part is your home. Why is that? Because changing your mindset and keeping your mindset completely open to abundance, it's quite difficult, because you need to be disciplined. You need to all the time have positive thoughts about money, about business, especially when you're in a time of crisis and challenges. It's really difficult to do that. And so, having the discipline to always think abundantly, let's be honest, that is, tricky for some people, right? For some of you, you don't always feel abundant, and you go into fear about money and fear about, the abundance that you can create and the wealth that you can create, because there's, debts that have to be paid and bills that have to be paid. And it's like perhaps the crisis puts you in losing your job. There's so much things, and you go in fear. So fear stops that heart channel of abundance, and keep that open is a little bit challenging. Yeah. And some of you are not even connecting with your spiritual abundance channel through meditation or through prayer. And that is also something, by asking every day, God, the universe, whatever you call the creating energy in the universe, to connect with that channel of abundance. But changing your environment is quite an easy thing to do, because you don't need that much discipline for that. The first part of opening the channel of abundance is decluttering. is releasing old energy. So literally, this is really have been great. Last week, I did not, I had so much more time than I normally had because of situations in the world right now. And I was like, yay, I can declutter. I can put all my winter stuff away. I can go into all my cabinets and let go of things. And then I found books that I didn't even know I had. I found business cards of people like, oh, I should call that person. Right? I found files of ideas. I found old journals, reading through them like, oh, I could do this and this. So there's so much treasures in your home that you're not even aware of because you're always so busy living your life. So creating space, open up the space, declutter, cleaning things up, just opens a channel of abundance. Because when you find something back, you're like, oh, this has been so amazing. I found this. I still have this dress. I still have this book. I even sometimes open up my cabinets and I found an envelope with money in it that I forgot I put it there, right? So there's so much treasures in your environment. Just clean up, right? And also pass on the abundance. Perhaps there are some things that you are not longer need and you can give it to Goodwill. Perhaps there are some books, dresses, shoes that you feel like, perhaps somebody in your neighborhood could really feel great about that. So cleaning and decluttering is not always the abundance you receive, but the abundance you can create for others. And the more space you create, the more abundance can come to you. And that also means for your computer. It also is for your phones, for your photo albums. Let go, let go, let go. Because when you let go, then the God can lead energy into your life. Yeah. So when you let go, you let God lead you, and let God lead abundance back to you. So this is, even if that's the only thing you get from this masterclass, is to start looking at the things you can let go of. If you can let go of between 10 and 20%, I know that's a lot, right? But think about a closet with dresses and clothes and shoes, books. I'm sure you can let go of 10, 20% of the books that you are never reading anymore, dresses you're never going to wear, shoes that you're like, well, I'm still holding on to that one for like 10 years, right? If it ever comes fashion again, but your shoes size has perhaps changed already. So you need to really look into changing all of that. And so as you're creating space, you're opening up a channel of abundance. And the interesting thing is, as you change your environment, you will actually start opening up your heart channel. You start feeling better because chaos and clutter actually put our vibration into a beta vibration, and it closes off our hearts. The more space we create, the more order we create, we go into alpha vibration. And literally our heart chakra will open up. When we have more space, our mindset opens up. Yeah. And things you will find, you will be like, oh, I could do this. So some creativity will start happening and your mindset will be opening up. And ultimately, your spiritual channel of abundance will also open up. So we have some questions I would love to answer. So if you have a question for people that are live on the call, just put that in the chat. Thank you. So what happens if you get rid of more than 20%? Does that throw off the balance? No, this is amazing if you can put out more than 20%. But I would not give away everything, right? So you still need to get a little bit. But as sometimes I remember I was like looking through my books and I had tons of books. I had this whole library, right? Over like 20 years of books. And I was like, but I'm moving house a lot. I changed several times continents, several times different countries. And I'm telling you, packing hundreds of books, it's quite heavy, right? So I decided after like looking at all these books, I was like, you know what? I'm going to decide to only have 30 books. Yeah. So if I buy a book, I need to let go of a book. Yeah. So that's what I started doing. So I actually only have 30 books, and they can go all in one big box. Right. So this is what I did. Yeah. And so I threw out probably 80% of my books. Yeah. I didn't throw them on the street, of course. I just arranged them according to my some topics, right? And then I already had a center at that time. So I would just put them out and say to people, hey, whoever wants a book, right? You don't have to pay for it. I just want to let them go. Just go through and whatever you want. And within a week, literally all my books were gone because they were great books. Yeah. There are some standard books that I will never let go of. But there are some books that are coming and going all the time. So if you can do more, why not? Yeah. The same with clothes, right? So I, as I'm traveling so much, right? I'm living, half of the month in my suitcase, to be honest. So I have certain clothes, and then there are some clothes that gone and go. I'm like, I'm buying something new, I'm letting go of something, right? So I just don't accumulate. Yeah. So that's the whole purpose of it, because the more chaos you create, the more of too much you create of stuff, you don't have enough of energy to create something new, to open up yourself for manifesting your vision. So let's see some other questions that are coming up. So somebody's asking, can Feng Shui be also responsible for your mindset? Yes, it is. So one of the things I always share is that you need to make sure that you always sit in such a way in your desk or any meeting you have that you see the door. Yeah. So right now I see the door, right? And so when you are seeing the door, when you talk, when you are in a meeting, your mind, your brain waves will actually go into alpha state. When you're in alpha state, you're much more, you're much more inspiring, you're much more creative. When you're sitting with your back to the door, and especially when you sit with your back to the door and you're sitting with your desk in front of a wall, then your brain waves will go into what we call beta brain waves. Literally, people have a hard time to motivate themselves when they have the door behind them, but especially when they are facing a wall and there's no space between their desk and the wall. Literally, subconsciously, they're hitting a wall. So there's no motivation. It's harder to get things done. So Feng Shui is responsible for your motivation. And so I remember I was talking to Jack Canfield, all Jack Canfield from The Secret, from the Chicken Soup for the Soul. And he had changed his office as into a new building. And he put his desk in front of the window with the door behind him. And I said, how has it been here working? He said, very challenging. He said, I can't focus. I said, but you have this beautiful view. He said, I know, but I still can't focus. I can't write. I've been trying to finish a new book proposal. It just is not working. And said, because you are like literally, not having inspiration. Said, but I see the outdoors. And said, yes, but you are actually with your back to the wall, to the entrance, like he's the most beautiful office, to be honest. But he couldn't see it, right? He had all his books, all his awards, and he was only looking at the window. So he redirected his office so he could see the door. He could see in front of him all his awards, all his books, and he had written, millions of books already. He's like one of the best-selling authors so all the books that reached millions of people, this whole series of Chicken Soup for the Soul was now in front of him, not the garden, right, or the yard. And so he got inspired again. Yeah. And so he made the proposal for a next book that was actually Success Principles at that time, and got an amazing book deal because people didn't even want to listen about this new idea from him. But I said to him, there's just nothing that motivates you here. Yeah. Looking at your horses that are out there, he had a few horses, that is not inspiring for an author. Your inspiration are books. Yeah. So we redirected. So your Feng Shui is responsible for 33.3% of how you think, how you feel, and what you do. And if that basement is not done, it doesn't unfold. Yeah, that's what we're doing in the Magical 2020. We're teaching you all these little steps. So there's already some answers that you can have. Does it mean getting rid of more things the better for the flow of abundance energy? Well, it's not like you have to throw everything out, right? But you have to really ask yourself the question. Let's say I'm taking something in my hands, right? And these are actually my activation cards. So let's say you have a card set somewhere, and you're like, you can ask yourself the question, will I use this in the next year? Is this something that supports me in the next year? Is this something that gives me joy? Is something that will help me to manifest my vision? Is it something that inspires me? And if the answer is yes, keep it, put it aside. Yeah. So it could be something else. Let me just say a pen, right? And you're like, oh, nice pen. And then the first thing I would do is like, see if it still writes. It doesn't write anymore. Garbage. Yeah. So look at everything. And so it's always good to work with someone, a friend. I call it a decluttering buddy, right? A clearing buddy, to ask the question all the time yourself, because so many things we have, they have stories, right? We got it from an aunt, we got it from our loved one, we got it from, perhaps our grandmother. Some things are just so sweet to you, keep them, right? And other things are just not useful anymore, or they're broken, or they're just something you don't really need anymore in your life, and you let go of it. And you will see, if you go cabinet and closet by closet, that sometimes you will just let go of 10%. In other closets, you're like, wow, I've been able to go, into big garbage bags. Yeah. So I would first start in the place where you work. Yeah. In bedrooms, for sure. Yeah. And then living rooms. Yeah. To declutter the energy. So somebody is sharing, I changed my desk facing the door in my living room since I first heard Marie talk about it. Well done. I do feel so much better. However, there are not enough natural light in the living room. Definitely, sometimes there is not enough light and you have to add light. I'm also here in my office. I have only like one big window and smaller windows, and there's not enough natural light sometimes, especially when it gets darker around 4 o'clock, and I have to add a lot of lights. Yeah. So that is sometimes okay, right? So when I move my laptop to my kitchen with plenty of natural sunlight through a large window, I feel so much better. But the door is behind me. So sometimes, you go where the light is, but I always suggest to people not to really work in the kitchen. If you really want to make good money, don't work in your kitchen. Yeah. Because in the kitchen, there's a fireplace, there is the sink. So it's a place of losing money, except if you're a chef. Okay. So I would suggest that if you feel that you are not getting enough sunlight, yeah, that you take a break and go to your kitchen, but keep working in your living room, keep working in your office, because these are areas that are much more active and good money areas. Yeah. And I'm sure there are places that you cannot always move things around. Yeah. And that is that's one of the things when we look into the magical 2020 program, then, we literally can then help you out. People that are in our personal group, they can then send up a little floor plan. We can give them some pointers what to do. It's sometimes you don't even see it, the possibilities that you might have. Yeah. And so Sarah is saying, since following Marie, I can definitely feel a positive impact only from this. Very happy to hear that, Sarah. Yes. So I think that are some of the questions for today. So I just want to let you know that we do have an amazing online in-person, I would call it, because we are not in person together, but we definitely are together in 4 sessions on Zoom on April 4th. So if you want to join, you'll receive a link to join for a very special deal that we can give you today. And so then you will be with me in the in-person class. You can, of course, listen to the recordings all the time. And you already received the ebook before we start. So if you're interested in that, I would definitely say just join us. So just a few last questions. How does living with many people affect the abundance energy? Well, if, for example, your partner is not so, good in decluttering, it's like you have to re-educate them a little bit, right? So what you will see, based in the magical 2020, based on what is important this year, there are certain areas this year that definitely needs decluttering, yeah? And certain other areas that are not so important for decluttering, for abundance, because every year there's different abundance energy. So there's, in 2020, there's different directions in your home that can create abundance. So if you have clutter there, it will affect you this year. So you will learn how to deal with that and then explain that to the people around you. Yeah. So somebody was just asking, what about my bedroom? My room is on an open space. So the bedroom is an open space mezzanine. The ceiling is very low. I cannot stand there. Does it affect my flow? It definitely affects your flow. Yeah. So that is definitely because you cannot stand up. So you will feel less self-value. Yeah. You will feel like things are harder on you. Yeah. Now, thank God it's where you're sleeping, right? But still, it is too low, right? So I would always suggest in that case to make sure you put fairy lights. Yeah, put towards the edge of the wall and the ceiling. Put like fairy lights. Yeah, because then it gives the feeling that is higher. Yeah. Okay, so I know some of you would like to join. It was so lovely to talk to each one here and to give you a lot of information about how visionaries become millionaires and how you can reach millions. And as you reach millions, you literally are receiving millions also in abundance. So I wish you a wonderful time. For people that have not followed me on Instagram, you can go to @MarieDiamond8. And for sure, get also already your free energy report on the website, mariediamond.com, because you will need to know your energy number. And you can also download my Mary Diamond app to find out your energy number already. These are all things you will need for the class. Have a wonderful evening. All my love to all of you. Bye-bye.